it going?
I'm not bad. So you're, what was your name?
Roger.
Roger?
Nice to meet you.
You look like you're probably taking a little bit of a break. It's probably been a hard go for you, huh?
Been a long, we brought our dogs for the first time and they're keeping us awake that night. So,
oh, man.
So there's been no rest for 4 days. I'm spent.
With this many people on a project, it's almost like herding cats, huh?
Well, it's almost worse, yeah, because today we had 3 projects and it was all inside the driver's door. So one guy works for a while, he gets out, another guy works. So there are 3 different major things going right there.
Has everything been flowing pretty good on this project?
Unbelievably been awesome. I mean, usually you get a hiccup, but we have not had any major hiccup yet. And we got to be running by noon tomorrow.
It looks like you've had quite a bit of, a lot of turnout, huh? A lot of help.
I think we've had about 40, 45 kids, and about 90% of them have been great.
So tell us a little bit about Wrenching for the Future. Like, how did you establish this? How did it come about?
So a buddy of ours down in Arizona was gonna build a rat rod in a couple weeks for his daughter's boyfriend. He ended up committing suicide. So Dylan couldn't get his car done in time for a show. So I just called a bunch of buddies, said we're going down for a week, we're gonna build a car and we're driving into the show on Saturday. We did it. On the way home, my wife says, we need to do more of this. So that's where Wrenching for the Future was born.
That's awesome.
So now this is our 4th build. And we got 2 more on schedule for next year.
So something tragic, there was something good that came out of something tragic.
Unbelievable, yes.
And it sounds like you got great, sounds like you got a hell of a woman that's fully behind you on this project.
110%. She's the brains and I make it happen.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So how is it when you have this many people on a project? What's been your, I guess over the years with these different projects, you probably figured out how to keep people moving, right?
Well, I know if all of my guys would have been here, everybody's in a different line. So everybody has their own project. This year's different. I brought 3 of my guys. The rest, I had no clue what they could do. So I had to find what they could do and put them in their position.
So are you really kind of monitoring it and kind of watching people, kind of looking at what their skill sets are, or you talk to them a little bit?
Yes, we'll talk and say, what are you going to feel comfortable doing? Dylan said brakes. I said, you can have it all. So he's doing all the brakes himself. Paulie and Justin are wiring guys. They're doing all the wiring. Tom, an old instructor from here, has been doing all the headlights and putting the buckets in and getting it pre-wired for him. So, I mean, everything has just been unbelievably coming together.
That's awesome.
And we got till noon tomorrow.
It looks like you guys are making pretty good progress.
We are doing great. We'll be here till 9, 10 o'clock tonight again.
Well, I think what you're doing is awesome. And where are you guys based out of?
Stillwater, Minnesota.
Stillwater, Minnesota.
Yep.
And you guys travel all over the country doing this at different tech schools?
We've done Arizona, 2 in Arizona, 1 in St. Louis, and 1 here. And we have 2 more coming up, and I can't say where they are yet.
You know, there's a lot to be said for a trade school. You know, a university isn't for everybody, but a trade school, I went to one personally, and you know, you go to work right out of that 2-year school or 1-year program, and
I'm going to even step in front of you on that one. High schools need to bring shop class back.
Agreed.
That's where I learned everything that I needed to know. And I did a half VOTEC and a half high school for 2 years, and it didn't cost me any more. They could bring that back also. That was phenomenal. And I'm not even in this line of work.
Yeah.
I work in the dirt, and I do this as a hobby and on the side.
Gotcha. No, I agree with you. It needs to. I think some high schools are bringing back, like at our local high school here, we have an ag class, and the kids are learning how to weld and different things like that. But I think we need to have more of that.
Yep. Colby, Kansas is actually breaking ground in the spring to bring shop class back.
That's awesome.
So that's great. Because I think the smaller towns are more important than the bigger towns, because you have the farm kids and you have the workers.
That's true. That's a good point.
That's a big deal, I think.
That's a really good point. Well, we really appreciate you. You got any final words you want to say? Any comments that Anybody out there listening?
Tomorrow's a big day. We're gonna try to get the front clip, get cooling in it yet tonight. The drive line's done, the brakes are almost done, wiring's almost done, steering's almost done, exhaust is almost done. So we got 5 hours in the morning and we're firing it up. We're gonna pull out and do a burnout.
As far as shops go, all the different shops you've been to around the country, how would you say the Goodland, Kansas, Northwest Tech shop is?
I mean, for what we needed, unbelievable. They need some electrical work. Well, they don't know. I mean, when you start running 6 different machines at once, they're not prepared for that. Nobody's prepared for that. Rankin down in St. Louis, we had electrical problems down there. Arizona, Springerville, we had electrical problems down there because we're running 3 or 4 220s and a bunch of 110s, so we're pulling amps. No school's going to be set up for what we're ready to do.
Yeah,
it's not going to be possible. Even state-of-the-art schools.
You're like Chevy Chase down here where all the lights go out in the city when you guys turn all your welders on.
We've been popping circuits all week.
The power plant's been kicking on all their backup units.
Throw some more coal in.
Well, hey, it was great talking to you, man.
Awesome. Nice meeting you.
You as well.
All right. He's gonna get you.
How are you doing?
Great. How are you?
What's your name?
My name is Erin.
Erin?
Yep.
Nice to meet you, Erin.
Nice to meet you.
I'll tell you what, your husband in the short interview I did with him, I can tell this man loves you and appreciates you. He had a lot of wonderful things to say, and he told me that you were the big inspiration behind getting a lot of this started.
Well, it was an idea, that I had. It was trying to figure out how we can take the hobby that, consumes a lot of our lives and do it for something good,
That's awesome. Has it been a lot of fun for you?
Yeah, it has. It's a lot of work.
I bet.
But it's actually, it's very rewarding to see the kids, to make them be confident and to have them talk about their experience and how it really changed a lot of their lives. That's it right there. That's our why.
That's awesome, because a lot of these kids, I imagine, have never been in this, and some of them have never been in this environment.
No.
Or part of a project like this.
No, and usually newer cars and not knowing you can take a whole bunch of old stuff and turn it into something that works. Yeah,
I agree. And there's a lot of wealth of information, a lot of old timers showing up here that pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Well, I appreciate it. I'm a big advocate of the trade school.
Great.
And what you guys are doing, I just think is a wonderful thing that we need.
Thank you.
So we appreciate it.
We appreciate the support.
Thank you guys.